Happy morning, children. Today we are going to discuss two lessons. The first one, living and non-living things. The another one called as a living organism and their surroundings. See the first one, living things. Living things are the things that are alive. They need food, water, and air to stay alive. They have the ability to reproduce or give birth, grow, and change on their own and respond to changing the environment. Example, plants and animals. A living organism and their surroundings. The surroundings where plants and animals life is called their habitat. The habitats are divided into two categories, terrestrial habitats and aquatic habitats. Terrestrial habitats are classified into three categories, desert, mountain region, grassland. The aquatic habitats, ocean and pond and lakes. The desert habits, example camel, rats and snakes. Desert plants either have no leaves or they have small or spine-shaped leaves to reduce transpiration. Mountain regions, yaks, snow leopards, etc. Grassland, lion, deer, etc. The aquatic habits, oceans, sea animals, dolphin, etc. Pond and lakes, fishes, fry, etc.
Living and non-living things. We can find many things around us. Some of them are living and others are non-living. The earth in which we all are living is made up of several things. A dog, cat, birds, bench, soil, mountains, air, water, car, tree, flower, rock, minerals, and a lot more things that make up the ecosystem. There are two different type of things in the ecosystem, living and non-living things. Living things living things eat, breathe, grow and reproduction. Non-living things do not eat, breathe, grow and reproduce. All living things breathe, eat, grow, move, reproduce and have sense. Non-living things do not eat, grow, breathe, move and reproduce. They do not have sense. Some objects do possess that elusive thing called life, although they might not show the evidencing of life like a human. A tree would probably not react the same way as a human. It would not react when we hit it, and it might not walk around, since the sign of the life displayed by them are least observed and do not make them non-living. Let us have a detailed look at the important characteristics of living and non-living things And the difference between the two living things. The word is made up of many different things. Some of the things are living and other are non-living. A dog, swing set, car, tree, flowers, and a book are some of the things that made up of the world. There are two different kind of things in the world. One kind is called living things. Living things eat, breathe, grow, move, reproduce, and have sense. The other kind is called non-living things. Non-living things do not eat, breathe, grow, move, and reproduce. They do not have sense. An example of living things in the world is a dog. A dog is an animal, and dogs need food, water, space, and shelter. The dog is a living thing. A tree or flower is a plant, and the trees and flowers needed air, nutrients, water, and sunlight. A flower and tree are also living things. Plants are living things and they need air, nutrient, water, and sunlight. Other living things are animals and they need food, water, space, and shelter. A dog eats food, breathes in air, and grows from the puppy to dog. A dog reproduces. Reproduce means to make one of its own kid. A dog also has sense. Sense are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling. Living things exist and are alive, sustaining life. They own life. Living things have structural law as cells. They grow and exhibit movement or locomotion. They experience metabolism, which include anabolic and catabolic reactions. Living things are capable of producing a new life, which is of their own kind through the process of reproduction. Living things have a particular lifespan and are not immortal. Cellular respiration enable living organism to aquatic energy which is used by cells to perform their functions. They digest food for energy and also excrete waste from the body. Their life cycle can be summarized as follows: birth, growth, reproduction, and death. Example of living things are animals, birds, insects, human being. Characteristics of living things. See the picture. The different level of organization made up of cells responds to the movements, growth and development, obtain and uses energy, reproduce. Characteristics of living things. Following are the important characters of living things. Living things exhibit locomotory motion. They move. Animals are able to move as they possess specialized locomotive organs. For example, earthworm move through the soil surface through longitudinally and circular muscles. Plants respond to movement of the sun, example sunflower. Living things respire. Respiration is a chemical reaction which occur inside cells to release energy from the food. Transport of gases take place. The food that is ingested through the process of digestion is broken down to release energy that is utilized by the body to produce water and carbon dioxide as byproducts. Living things are sensitive to touch and have the capability to sense changing in the ambience. They grow. Living things mature and grow through different stages of development. One of the striking features is that living things are capable to produce offspring of their own kind through the process of reproduction, wherein genetic information is passed from the parents to the offsprings. They acquired and fulfill their nutritional requirements to survive through the process of nutrition and digestion, which involve engulfing and digesting the food. The digested food is eliminated from the body through the process of excretion. See the characteristics of life. Needing sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Green plants or autotrophs make their own food by photosynthesis. Need food and water. Animals are heterotrophs. They take food from plant and animal source. Growth. Plant grow from seeds, germinate to sprouting small plants and trees. Animals grow. A baby grow into the child, a boy or girl adult. Move. Plants are fixed. Do they not move? They show movements of their parts. Example, blooming. Animals move from one place to another in search of food, shelter, and water. Energy is released by oxidation of food. Respiration. Plant breathe through the stomata, lenticel, and root hair. Animals breathe through lungs, gills, and body surface. Respond to stimulus. Plants are sensitive to light. Stem moving towards light and touch me not plants. Example, Mimosa pudica. Animals have sense organ sensitive to light. Byproduct formed as a result of metabolic activities. Excretes. Plants release excess water as water vapor and secrete waste useful to man. Animals remove waste in the form of sweat, urine, and CO2 by lungs, skin, kidney, flame cells, malphing, tubules, and body surface. Continuation of their race and life. Reproduce. Plants reproduced from spores, seeds, from any part of the plant by vegetative propagation. Animals reproduced by asexual and sexual reproduction. Egg-laying animals are oviparous and giving birth to young ones is viviparous. The period taken by an organism to complete its life cycle is known as lifespan. Grow old and die. Plants grow old and die. Animals grow, complete their lifespan and die. Plants and animals. Life upon the earth is of two kinds, plant life and animal life. Plants are producer or autotrophs. Animals are consumer or heterotrophs. Both plants and animal body is made up of single cell, unicellular or several cells, multicellular organism. Cells are the building block of life. The cells may be differ in size, shape and structure according to the function it performs. Cell, group of similar cells that's called tissue, a group of tissue that's called organ, group of organ that is called the organ system. A difference between plant and animals. Future, animals, plants. Nutrition. Animal cannot make their own food. They depend on plants or other animals for food. Thus, animal or heterotrophs. Green plants make their own food using carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Thus, they are autotrophs. Movement. They move from one place to another on their own. They are fixed and do not move. Their parts show movements. Response to stimuli. They respond to external stimuli quickly. They have sense organ. Most plants show slow response to external stimuli. They do not have sense organ. Growth. They stop growing after certain period of time. Most of them growing throughout their life. Response of chlorophyll. They do not have chlorophyll. They have chlorophyll. Non-living things. Non-living things include things that do not need food, eat, reproduce or breathe. A car does not eat or grow. It does not move unless a person is driving it. It does not need air to breathe and it has no sense. It is a non-living thing. A swing set does not use food. A book does not move. The swing set and book do not grow and they do not need air to breathe. They are non-living things. Non-living things do not need air, food, nutrients, water, sunlight or shelter. Other non-living things in the world include pencil, rocks, footballs, toys, hats and many others. One more example of living things is a bird. A bird eats seeds or worms. It breathes in air. It comes from an egg and grow. It moves by flying. It lay eggs and reproduce. It smell and sees because it has sense. A bird is a living thing. One more example of non-living things is a ball. A ball does not eat anything. It does not need to breathe. It never grows. It never moves unless a person throws or rolls it. The ball does not reproduce. It cannot hear or feel and it has no sense. A ball is a non-living thing. Non-living things are not alive. They do not possess life. They do not have cells and do not grow or show locomotion or movement. They do not undergo metabolism with anabolic and catabolic reaction. They do not reproduce. Non-living things do not have a lifespan. They do not respire as they do not require food for energy and hence do not excrete. They do not fall into any cycle of born, grown, reproduce and die. They are destroyed or broken down by external force. Example of non-living things include stone, pen, book, cycle, bottle, etc. Characteristics of non-living things. The important characters of non-living things are mentioned below. Non-living things are lifeless. They do not have cells. There is no protoplasm which form a basis for life to exist. Lack of protoplasm leads to absolutely no metabolic activities. They do not have a defined and certain size of their own. They take the shape of the substance they are contained in. For example, a liquid takes the shape of its corner. The change in the state of a non-living thing is due to an external influence. Non-living things grow by aeration. It occurs through adding material externally. For example, a snowball may increase in size due to the accumulation of smaller unit of its own to its outer surface. Non-living things never die. They exist externally. Immortality is a distinguishing factor. Absence of fundamental life process such as reproduction, nutrition, excretion, etc. are the future of non-living things. Difference between living things and non-living things. Living things, they possess life. Non-living things, they do not possess life. Living things are capable of dividing birth to their young one. Non-living things do not reproduce. For survival, living things are dependent on water, air and food. They are self-dependent. Living things are sensitive and responsible to stimuli. Non-living things do not sensitive and do not respond to stimuli. Metabolic reaction occur constantly in all living things. There are no metabolic reaction in non-living things. Living organisms undergo growth non-living things do not grow or they have lifespan and are not immortal. They have no lifespan and immortal. Living things and move from one place to another. Non-living things cannot move themselves. The respiratory and exchanging of gases take place in their cells. Non-living things do not respire. Example, humans, animals, plants, insects. Example, rock, pen, building and gadgets. Criteria for differentiating living things and non-living things. For easy differentiation between living things and non-living things, scientists have come up with traits of characteristics that are unique to them. The criterion for classification is necessary to avoid the wrong grouping. Hence, science developed a basis for classification. Anything that has life is considered as living being. For example, human, trees, dog, etc. While things which have no life in it are considerable as non-living. For example, stone, mountain, watch, etc. Scientists have discovered a few criteria for differentiating living things from non-living things. Here are some of them. A living being can grow and develop. A living being obtain and use energy. Living being adapt to their environment. All living beings are made of one or more cells. A living being respond to their environment or stimuli. All living things excrete to move waste material from the body. Living beings have the ability to give birth to their young ones through the process of reproduction. All living beings require energy to perform different metabolic activities, and they gain energy from food or nutrition. All living beings, apart from plants, move from one place to another. This type of movement is called as locomotion. All living beings, including human, animal, plant, birds, and insects, require oxygen gas to breathe and produce energy. If some obey a few of the rules, it cannot be categorized as living things. It has to strangely follow all the given rules. For example, an isle, although it grow, increasing its mass or length, is still a non-living thing since it cannot reproduce or respond to stimuli. Non-living things do not follow any life process, unlike living beings. Now we are going to discuss about next lesson, the living organism and their surroundings. Introduction. Different regions in the world have various type of living creature called organism. Even the opening of volcanoes have tiny living organism. Even our homes are not devoid of these tiny organism. List some of the tiny organism which you have encountered at home. Environment. Everything that we see surrounding us, living and non-living, physical, chemical, etc. is called as environment. Biotic components. These are the living components of the ecosystem. Example, flora and fauna. Abiotic components, the non-living components of the ecosystem like soil, water, air, etc. are called abiotic components. Organism and the surrounding where they are live. The table shows some common organism and their place to live. Organism where they live. Camel, desert, yak, mountains, crab, sea, and various locations. Habitat and adaptation. The region or place where an organism lives is termed as its habitat. Habitat provides an organism everything it needs to survive, like food, shelter, proper weather conditions such as rainfall, heat, etc. to breathe and flourish. What is adaptation? The process which enables organism to adjust to their environment in order to ensure survival. Types of adaptation. Structural adaptation. refer to the shape and size of the organism and how the various parts of its body are put together. For example, a flattened body, color, and the shape and size of its legs. Physiological adaptation refer to the working of an organism body. For example, how an organism digestive system work or how an organism works. Behavioral adaptation are to do with how the organism behaves. For example, burrowing or being uh, natural. Structural adaptation. A structural adaptation involves some part of the animal body. Sharp, sharp teeth, giraffe long neck, duck webbed feet, productive coloration in camouflage. Physiological adaptation. Jobs of the body part controlling life process that aid in survival. Bears, boys slow down in winter. This helps them survive the long winter temperature and scarce food during the winter months. Many know this as hibernation. Most bear to sleep through the entire winter. They do not get up and change dens, so this is not true hibernation but a winter sleep. Behavioral adaptation. This type of adaptation has to do with how an animal behaves in order to survive in their biome. Example, oxpeckers perch on large animals to eat ice and tick off their backs. The white-tailed antelope squirrel live in underground burrow to stay cool. Camel. It has a long leg which provide protection from the heat of sand. Excretes small quantity of urine. They do not sweat and their dung is dry. Can live without water for many days as their body lost little water. See the picture of camel. Fish. Their streamlined shape helps to move easily in water. Presence of slippery scale, gills helps is utilizing dissolved oxygen. Flat fish and tail helps in changing direction in the water. See there some fishes, the aquatic organism. Both the organism discuss about the specific feature or characteristics that enable them to survive in their habitat. These features are termed as adaptation. Terrestrial adaptation or habitat, and another one aquatic habitat. Plants and animals that thrive on land side to live in terrestrial habitat. Example, forest, desert, mountain region. Aquatic habitat. Plants and animals that are in water side to live in aquatic habitats. River and lakes. Journey through different habitats. Terrestrial habitat. Desert. The following adaptation of various organisms are enlisted below. Snakes and rats big burrow to escape intense heat as they do not have a long leg such as camel. These animals come out only during the night when it is cooler. In desert plants, leaves are reduced to spine and lose little water through transpiration. Example, cactus. The stem of desert plant have a waxy coating on them, and in most of them photosynthesis is carried out by the stem. Their root go deep into the soil so as to absorb water. The leaves of desert plant are absent to prevent loss of water due to transpiration. Some of the animals are camels, kangaroo, rats, etc. Mountain regions. The tree are cone shaped with slope-like branches, also needle-like leaves are present so that the rain and snow slide off them easily. Example, pinus. Animals have thick fur which provide protecting from cold. Example, snow leopard. Presence of strong hooves help the mountain goat to run on the rock slope. Example are pines, mountain goats, yak, sheep, etc. Yak have a long hair to keep them warm. See the pine tree, the tree found in the mountain region. Grassland. The light brown color of the line helps to hide in dry grassland, and the presence of long claws help to capture their prey. Deer has a strong teeth to eat plant stem. Also, its long ears help to listen to predator movements. They have eyes on its side of the head which help them to look in all directions to look out for danger. Some of the animals living in these habitats are elephant, giraffe, lions. Rainforest. This habitat receives a lot of rain and hence it rich in animal life. Mammals, amphibians, reptiles, all sort of animals are found here. The climate is hot and humid and animals have to learn to adapt to survive. Polar habitat. These habitats are very cold and windy. The animals are mostly carnivores and have thick fur to survive with cold. Some blend in ice and some may hibernate in the coldest month. Example of animals are polar bears, reindeers, pigeons, etc. Aquatic habitats. See the lotus and lily. Of the some example, the hydrilla. Of some of the Balisneria also the aquatic habitats. Marine habitat. Marine habitat comprise of ocean and seas and both have salt water. They are home to wide variety of creatures like the most part of fish population is found here. Marine creatures are found in estuary where rivers and ocean meet. The water is salty. Marine mammals like whales migrate to long distance in order to cope up with the temperature changes. Ocean. Most organisms have streamlined bodies and gills. Octopus do not have streamlined body, so they stay deep in ocean, but when moving They make a streamlined motion. Whales have a below holes instead of gills. This enables them to breathe easily when they swim near the surface of water. See an octopus. Freshwater habitat. Rivers, lakes, ponds, etc. comprise the freshwater habitat. 3% of the world water is accounted as freshwater, but still a wide variety of species are found here. Snail, worm, mollusks are found in this habitat. Ponds and lakes. Plants. Water plant can be completely submerged in water like hydrilla, or floating on the surface of water like water lily, lotus, water hyacinth. Roots are much reduced in size since their main function is to hold the plant in place. Stem of aquatic plants are long, hollow, and light so that these can bend in along with water movements. Example, water lily. The stem grow up to surface of water while the leaves and flowers float on surface of water. Totally submerged plants have narrow and ribbon-like leaves. Example, tap grasses. These can be bent in flowing water. Stem have air space to enable the plant to float. Floating plants are large and flat. They have waxy upper surface that makes them waterproof. They have stomata on the upper surface which are exposed to air. Frogs are adapted to live both on land and water. They have strong back and legs and webbed feet which allow them to swim in water. Coastal habitat. Habitats where the land meets the sea. Beaches. Special type of tree called mangroves are found in this habitat. Coastal plants like seaweeds attach to the rock firmly so that they are not seared by the waves. Accumulation. Due to the certain changes in the surroundings, organisms adapt through them by making small changes in the body over short period of time. For example, the changes which take place in the body when we travel from plain to mountain, the adjustment which the body makes is called accumulation. Characteristics of living organism. Living, the required food to grow and carry out life process. They grow in size. All living organisms breathe and respirate. Process of generating energy. They respond to stimuli, changes in the environment. They carry out reproduction, producing next generation, and excretion, elimination of waste from body. Movements is so by the living organism. Thank you.